So here we're simplifying ratios. You should be able to do this really quickly without a calculator. You should be able to look at that and say, hey, that's 10 over 6. That reduces to 5/3. You don't have to divide, show what you're dividing by, but you can. You could say that that's 6 over 11. Or you can just do it in your head and say, well, 5 goes into 24 times, 5 goes into 37 7 times. If it's written with the dot dot like that, then we're going to rewrite it also with the dot dot. And 30 over 39, of course, are both divisible by 3. Oops, 13. Perfect. When you've got days and weeks, now you got to get things in the same units. So I have 4 days over 2 weeks, which is 14 days. Then I reduce it. So 2 over 7, and you have to write days. Same thing with feet and inches. 3 feet, 3 times 12, 36 inches over 8 inches. Then we reduce it. They're both divisible by 4, 9 over 2 inches. 6 yards, 4 feet. Remember that there's 3 feet in a yard, so that's 18 feet over 4 feet, or 9 over 2 feet. And the next one is centimeters and meters. Of course, we remember that there's 100 centimeters in a meter, so 200 centimeters. That's going to reduce to 1 over 5 centimeters. And then the last one, 80 centimeters, we know is 80 millimeters over 6 millimeters, so that's going to reduce to 40 over 3 millimeters. Basketball team won 12 games, lost 8, so wins to losses is 12 to 8, but don't forget to reduce each ratio. So they're both divisible by 4, 3 to 2. Wins to total number of games played, wouldn't that just be 12 to 20, right? And then if we reduce that, that would be, 4 goes into both of those, so 3 to 5. Losses to wins would be 8 to 20, that's going to reduce to 2 to 5. Losses to total number of games played is 8 to 20, and then that'll reduce, losses to wins would have been 8 to 12, right? 8 to 12, so that would be 2 to 3, and then this one's 2 to 5, sorry. The diagram, if JK is, the ratio is 7 to 2, so we say 7x plus 2x equals 36, or 9x is 36, or x is 4. Then when we plug it back in, 4 times 7, of course, is 28, and 2 times 4 is 8. Here we're just reading off the picture. XY is 9, RS is 21. You always want to write that in simplest form, 3 to 7. ST 28, YZ 12, and if we reduce that, that's going to be 7 to 3. And then XZ is 6 to 14, that's back to 3 to 7. Similarly here, we're just going to reduce the fraction. 5 to 10 in this case is 1/2, or XB is 10 over 5, that's going to be 2 to 1. AX over AB now is 5 to 15, so that's 1/3. BC to XY, 24 over 8, that's 3 to 1. AY is 3 and YC is 6, so 3 to 6 is 1/2. And then 3 to 9, of course, is 1/3. The next questions are about cross multiplying. So if we cross multiply here, don't we get 4x equals 30? So x is 30 over 4, which you would reduce to 15/2. Of course, you could also say 7.5. Here we rewrite it, 8 over 3 equals x over 6. Cross multiply here, 3x is 48, so x is 16. For these here, you're going to have to distribute. So 9 times the quantity x plus 2, or 9x plus 18 equals 16. 9x is negative 2, x is negative 2/9. Okay, and this next one I'm going to distribute. I'm just going to distribute the 10, so it's 10x plus 40 equals 15x minus 10. And again, you want to move all the x's to one side, all the numbers to the other side. This will be 50 over here, so x equals 10. Then when we're cross multiplying, we're going to keep it consistent. So if 25 chocolates cost $20, you're going to keep the chocolates in the top and the money in the bottom. So 42 over x. So when I cross multiply there, I get 840, I believe, if I multiply those, and then divide both sides by 25, it's going to turn out to be 3360. He finishes 50 math problems in 20 minutes. How many math problems can he do in 30 minutes? If you cross multiply, 20x equals 1500, divide both sides by 20, and it turns out to be 75 problems. Similar shapes are the same shape, but not necessarily the same size. All the angles are congruent. All the sides are proportional. So we make a proportion out of our proportional sides. So here it would be like 12 over x equals 8 over 6. And if I cross multiply that, I get x equals 9. Here, it doesn't matter if I do, I'm going to do 28 over x. It doesn't matter if I do 24 over 6 or 20 over 5. Both of those are going to reduce to 4 over 1. And it just makes life a little easier if you reduce it, so x is 7. Here, what do we have? 3 over x equals 4 over 12. 4x is 36, so x equals 9. And a lot of this is the same over and over again. So here, LJK is going to go with QPR. I like to write all three proportions out. Y over 4 equals 12 over 8 equals 9 over x. The 12 over 8 is our scale factor. If I reduce that, that's going to be 3 over 2. So I can say 9 over x, it's a 9 over x equals 3 over 2. If I cross multiply that, and you get 6. For y, y over 4 equals 3 over 2. If I cross multiply that, I also get 6. Here, LMNP is going to go with GHJK. Scale factor here, I can see this one, the 8 over 2, and it's going to reduce to 4 over 1. So if I want to find x, it would be x over 4 equals 4 over 1, or 16. If I want to find y, 20 over y equals 4 over 1, or y equals 5. It's really the same thing over and over again. You got to make sure you get the letters right. So DEF is going to go with JHG. Scale factor here, the 20 actually goes with the 15, so that's going to reduce to 4 over 3. So x over 18 equals 4 over 3. X equals 12. 16 over y equals 4 over 3. Y equals 12. Oops. Y equals 12. All right, questions there. I feel like I made a mistake. Actually, yeah, I made a mistake on this one. This should have been 24. Too much doing it in my head. Here on the next page, we're kind of trying to reinforce the idea that the scale factor is equal to the ratio of the perimeters. So here it's 4 over 12 for the scale factor, which is 1/3. And then the ratio of the perimeters is always the same as the scale factor, 1/3. So here it's going to be 4 out of 7, the same as the scale factor. And you could find that by adding up the sides, like 8 and 6 is going to be 14, and that adds up to 42 for the second triangle, which would reduce to 1/3. Here, which postulate is it? It looks like side angle side, but you got to check that those two both reduce to 2/3, which they do. So that's side angle side. Here it looks like side angle side, but you notice that 5 over 8 is not equal to 6 over 9, so that one's none. Here, if you find the missing angles, they do all match up, 74 degrees, 34 degrees, so you would just say angle, angle, or you could say angle, 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 similarity. This one looks like side, 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 and it is. 9 over 6 does equal 12 over 8, does equal 15 over 10. But here, the proportions do not work. So if you go small to small, 6 over 8, and then that's not going to equal medium to medium, which I guess would be actually the 9 and the 12, which is not going to equal the big to the big, which is 11 over 14. So that's a none. And then here we always know that this picture here is equal to angle, angle, because the angles are all matching up. Phew, now you get into the whole thing, okay? So now you've got to set up these proportions, find the angle measures. I like to do the angles first. Like the angle T would be 29 because it matches, and angle L and angle R match, obviously. So angle N there would be 47. My proportion to find X, well, there's my scale factor, which is 4 over 6, but I'm going to reduce it to 2 over 3 just to make my life easier. 2 over 3 equals 6 over x. X turns out to be 9. 2 over 3 equals 8 over y. That one's not going to come out even, or is it? Yeah, it sure is. Y is 12. And it's the same thing over and over again, right? So the angles here, angle D here is going to be 56 degrees. Angle T, 41. Angle A, 83. And then we see our proportions. You can write all three of them out. 12 over x equals 15 over 40 equals y over 48. The 15 over 40, that can reduce, right? 15 over 40, 5 goes into both of those, so that would be 3 over 8. It'll be a little bit easier if you say 12 over x equals 3 over 8. X is going to be 32. Or you could say 3 over 8 equals y over 48. Y is equal to 18. Now when we get to the bow ties, remember we have two kinds of bow ties, flipped and twisted. I could tell by those 50 degrees that this is going to be a twisted bow tie. In other words, PET is going to go with ACT. So my proportion, well, my angles here, let's see, I've got an angle in the middle, that's that bow tie. Those add up to 120, so that leaves me 60 left for angle P and angle A. If I want to write all the proportions, it's a twisted one. So the 30 goes with the y, the 25 goes with the 10, and the x goes with the 16. I can reduce 25 over 10 to 5 over 2. So 5 over 2 equals x over 16, x is 40. 30 over y equals 5 over 2, y is equal to 12. Yep. I'm always fair, so if I have one twisted bow tie, the next one's going to be flipped, and you can tell by filling in the angles, the 60, the 80, the 40, how they all match up. So angle A is 60, angle E is 80. So CAB is going to go with CDE. So this means that these two sides go together. X over 9 equals 6 over 4 equals 12 over y. And 6 over 4, of course, can reduce to 3/2. So 3/2 equals x over 9. Sorry, I thought I was on pause there. Yikes. So this is 2x is 27. X is going to be 13.5. And then this one here, 3 over 2 equals 12 over y. Y is going to be 8. These last two are the harder ones. We just know they are. You have to separate the triangles. Once you separate them, it makes it so much easier. You can really just do it with the numbers here, the x, the 9, the 12. EAB is going to go with EDF. Scale factor 8 over 12, that reduces to 2/3. So 4 over x equals 2 over 3. Or y over 9 equals 2 over 3. So if I solve for this, I'm going to get 6. If I solve for this, I'm going to also get 6. Yeah. And then I'm just going to fill in the angles, the 80, the 70, the 30. And I got the 80 because all the angles of a triangle add up to 180. Okay, here we got to separate it, label it. So this is going to go with DAE. Scale factors that 3 to 9 or 1/3. And again, separate the triangles, 3, 6, and y. The big ones, 9, x, and 12. So proportion to find x, I'm going to use 1/3. 1/3 equals 6 over x here, so x is equal to 18. And then 1/3 equals y over 12, so y is going to be 4. And again, the angles just match up. 89 degrees, 31 degrees, and then because all the angles of a triangle add up to 180, 60 degrees. Here you're looking at the letters, right, and making sure you're consistent. So if we say PQ to QS, PR to RT. PQ to PS. Now we're going from little to big, so it's going to be PR to PT over there. Anytime you go from the bottom two, QR to ST, remember you're going from the little triangle to the big triangle. So it's PR to PT. Similarly here, PQ to PS, little to big. Proportion to find x, this is just your natural proportion. X over 2 equals 3 over 1, so x is 6. 7 over x equals 9 over 18, x turns out to be 14. 2 over 6 equals 9 over z. It's almost like it's set up for you. Right here in that one, if you cross multiply, you get 3. And the last one here, 32 over 16 is equal to x over 12, and x is going to turn out to be 6. Yep. Is it? No, 24. Here you've got two things going on. You've got the natural proportion to find x, which is 9 over 12 equals x over 8. And when I cross multiply that, I get 6. But whenever you do this 12 and y, now you're going from the little triangle to the big triangle. So it's 9 over 21 equals 12 over y. Y is 28. Let's see. Yeah, so the y is the natural proportion. 5 over 15 equals y over 27. That's going to turn out to be 9. But when you do the x, it's 5 over 20 because it's from the little triangle to the big triangle. That turns out to be 24. And the last one here, you're just cutting the base in half, so it's 4 divided by 2, or 20 times 2, or 18 divided by 2, or 1 divided by 2. That is it. It's a long chapter, but that's it.